We've worked on and perfected an action, and that action is one that we want to apply to a lot of images. We're not talking 2 or 3, we're talking about 200 or 300. I don't want to open them in Photoshop one at a time and apply the action. I mean, you could, but there's a much better way to do this. It's called batch processing. Step number 1, put all the images into a folder. Mac or Windows, make a folder and stick them in there. I've got one called boating. If I open it up, there they are. Those are the 2 we used in the last segment. Multiply what you see here by 100. Doesn't matter what's in there. Put as many things in there as you want. I like to take the results of the action, the changes, and I like to put them into a separate folder. That's just me. But I created a blank folder called Keep It, and that's where I want them to go. So we've created a new folder, and we've created a folder with our images in it. Both those folders are sitting somewhere. You know where they are. Let's go back into Photoshop. It is not necessary to have any image open. Just go to the word File and go down to Automate. Over to Batch. I love batch processing. First thing, choose the action you want. We're going into the special set. We're going to use the cartoon look. That's the one we made previously. Do you want these to be in a folder? Yeah. Well, then you have to choose the folder. Now, I've already done this once, so it remembers what I did last time. But if I click Choose, I need to do the hunt for the folder. There it is, boating. Select it. Click Choose. Override Action Open Command. If you turn that on, if you check it, you're saying to the computer, I have an open command in the action. I almost never do that. Computer, open the images in the folder. That's what I want you to do. So I almost never use that option. I don't have any subfolders, but maybe I do. Maybe there's a subfolder in that folder that's got text documents in it. I wouldn't want to include those. Or maybe it's got stuff I want to include. Up to you. The suppress options, you have probably seen when you open images in Photoshop, that little thing saying wrong color space or wrong this. I always ignore those. So I don't want to wait and have to answer that question. Answer it for me, computer, suppress it. Destination, 3 choices. None. That's an interesting one. If you choose none, this is what's going to happen. It's going to open up the first image and process it, won't save it, won't close it. Open the second one, won't save it, won't close it. It keeps processing and opening. If you've got 150 images, that means Photoshop is going to have open at one time 150 images. How many people want to lay down a bet that your computer will crash and burn long before that 150th image opens? None is for 1 or 2 images. You want to look at them before you actually save them. We don't want to use that one. Save and close. You lose the original. It's going to save it over on top of the original I prefer folder. That gives me my originals and my copies. It wants to know the folder. If we click Choose, it's called Keep It. Go down to Keep It right there. There's nothing in it yet. Click Choose. Down here, Override Action Save. If you turn that on, your action must have a save command in it. I almost never have save commands in my action. What I'm saying is, computer, save them in this folder. I don't need to turn that on. However, if you do choose folder, you now have the option of renaming your files, which is kind of cool. The document name and extension means they'll be the same thing. Let's say we change that to a 1-digit serial number. And we want it to start at 5, just to change it. Compatibility with Windows, I'm on a Mac, so that's grayed out, obviously. And yeah, I do. I want them compatible with Windows. To be honest with you, compatibility issues are almost non-existent. If I don't click that button, I guarantee I still would not have any problems moving this into Windows. But we'll go ahead and check it. And Unix, too, if you want to do that. Makes the files a little bit bigger, but it's worth it. Log errors to a file or stop. Don't stop me for errors. I got 150 images, and I ain't waiting around to see if you got a problem. Log them to a file, save as. Tell you what, let's call it Photoshop Errors. We'll use PS as our abbreviation. Put it where you can find it again, click Save. We want to do this option to this folder and put the results in that folder. We're using digit serial numbers starting at 5. Go for it, click OK. Again, if this takes a bit of time, get yourself a cup of coffee. In the end, we open this one up, and there's our originals, untouched. We open this one up, And there they are, 5 and 6, because that's what we told it to name them, all done for us. Batch file processing saves you time, but not just time, it saves you a ton of time.